And good morning, people, lovely people who are tuned in on AARP Facebook, the live page, for our last of these yoga classes for 2020. And I'm happy that you're here, and I hope this class will be of benefit. So my name is Jane DiCola, and I'm a student, forever student, and a teacher of yoga. And it's such a beautiful practice. And during this crazy, mad, insane year, um, I have never been more grateful for the toolkit that yoga has provided, and that can provide anybody and everybody who chooses to embrace it as a practice. Um, but it doesn't have to be anything more than you would like it to be. Many people come to the mat just for some little alone time, me time. Many people come to the mat just to stretch, um, just to be quiet, to turn off the outside noise and just listen to the silence. Many people come for a workout. They need to strengthen. They look at it as like rehabbing maybe an old injury or something. They want to get strong. They want to get fit. They want to get beautiful. There's so many reasons why people come to the yoga mat. So whatever your reason is, I don't care, and yoga doesn't care. Yoga's just grateful that you found your way onto a mat. So I hope your holidays, although very strange this year, I hope your holidays found you well, and you and your families. I just want to give a really big shout out to AARP. They're doing an incredible job. In my last AARP publication that just arrived a couple of weeks ago, it was all about the seniors and how COVID has affected the seniors and how it can potentially, do X, Y, and Z. It was very detailed, and there were two parts to it. One was how did we fare, how did we do as a country taking care of its seniors, and then the second part was lessons to be learned for going forward. And this is just who AARP is, like they've got our back, right? They've totally got our back, and they've been doing this for over 60 years. And you don't have to be 65 or 60 to belong to AARP and to get many of their great benefits. I got my AARP card, I think, when I turned 55 or 50 even. And their Facebook page is available to anyone and everyone, their website, and they have just really some beautiful benefits. So I want to thank AARP, and especially I want to thank Pamela Toussaint, the director here of AARP Virgin Islands, who brought me on and brought the other instructor on too, so that during this crazy year we could still bring some fitness and some wellness through the medium of social media. So thanks, Pam. And the other group I want to thank is Breathe St. Thomas. Breathe St. Thomas is a beautiful mindfulness-based yoga community. We did have a studio, a home-based studio here in Haydenside that is not yet reopened. But this is a beautiful mindfulness-based community here in St. Thomas. And it's also thanks to them that I find myself here today. So very grateful to them. Let us find a comfy seat, and however that is for you is great. If it's on the earth, fine. If you need a couple of bolsters or a couple of cushions to bring the earth up to meet you, great. If you need to sit on blocks, or as they call them, bricks in the UK, great. Blankets, folded towels, extra yoga mats, whatever feels good. On a chair, right? You can do almost everything in yoga from a chair. I'm hoping to bring some chair yoga next year, 2022, just a day away. 2021, I'm sorry. Now I'm giving up a whole year. So find a comfy seat. This is Sukhasana, easy pose. Let it be easy. And then begin to notice. Check in with your body. Notice how your body's feeling. Where can you identify, notice, become aware of tightness, of looseness, spaciousness, of holding. And don't critique it or judge it. Just notice it, sense it, and feel it in your body. And then begin to draw your attention, your focus, to your breath. Just one breath at a time. Notice everything you can about the inhale, this very next inhale, and this very next exhale. Where do you feel that in the body most easily? Perhaps it's the belly, moving in and out. Perhaps it's the diaphragm, chest. Perhaps it's at the nostrils. Where is it for you? And then let's take a couple of deep breaths. And I want you to imagine that on the inhale, it's a kind of a regular, slow inhale breath. But on the exhale, it becomes long like a sigh. And it's a letting go. And the exhale is certainly the surrender of the inhale, of the holding at the top of that inhale. The exhale is in its nature, by its very nature, a surrender. And I want you to just think about that for just 1 or 2 seconds. And then try and experience that in the body. Maybe focusing where you feel a tightness that you already did. And on the exhale, invite yourself to literally let go of that holding or that tension or that tightness. Try it. See what happens. I hope you felt something that's really pretty amazing. No, I did. Okay, let's begin to warm up, guys. Let's rub the hands together. For anybody who's watching this from afar, I know you're very grateful to be doing something to warm up. Here in the Virgin Islands, we're warm all year round. Good. And then, cup the hands over the eyes, creating a little warmth and darkness for the eyes to rest. Fingers up into the hairline. And then draw the hands to the heart with the last remaining warmth. And check in with your heart. And set an intention for your practice here this morning, or today, whenever you're watching. And I invite you to consider an intention of loving kindness for yourself, first and foremost. And then with a loving kindness attitude, we take that out into the world. To all our people, all our relationships, all our dealings. All right. So we're going to do some seated cats and cows, okay? And then we're just going to move through a little flow, warming the body up. On an exhale, gently round the shoulders forward, pulling the navel back to the spine, looking down to chest. Inhale, lift. And really reach your heart up to the sky, widen through the chest, gazing up, wherever it feels comfy for your neck. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. And exhale round. And come on back to a neutral spine. Let's take the right ear down towards the right shoulder. Just beginning to stretch out the neck on the left side. Spine long and tall. Just the head moving. Breathe. Sense and feel. Inhale, lifting it up and drop it down to the other side. Noticing already how one side feels quite different than the other, right? Just notice. And take it up. Exhale, turn the head over the right shoulder. Again, just a neck stretch on a different angle, different plane. And back through center, exhale to the other side. And back. Let's reach the hands back behind us, leaning back into the hands, fingers away from the body. And again, lift the heart up, widen through the chest. And let the head be where it feels comfortable with a sense of ease. So if it's too much laying back, it could feel like your head's going to fall off of your neck or create some discomfort. And find a place. Breathe deep and full into the chest. And then navel to spine, protecting the core, always come on back up. All right, let's walk the hands and arms forward, bringing the chest with a flat back down towards the earth. Like the heart wants to kiss the earth, and the back is wide and flat. The heart is open, the chest is wide. And come on up. All right, let's get onto all fours for cat and cow. And a little bit more. Flow here. Now, if you have sore knees, and by the way, we always recommend, that if you haven't done a physical practice for a while and started a physical regimen for a period of time, that it's always great to check in with your healthcare provider, right? Because we want you to be safe always. If you have knee issues, you can always feel free to roll up the front of your mat if you have just one mat, the one you're working on, or if you have a spare, you can just fold it up a couple of times and lay it under the knees if that's helpful for your knees. Okay? Remember, we're always inviting ourselves to bring the earth up, to meet our body where it is, right? To provide this sense of comfort and ease. Even as we work, even as we challenge ourselves, always in yoga, there should be a sense of comfort and ease. All right, so 4 cats and cows, here we go. Inhale to reach it up for cow. And exhale, rounding it up for cat. Continue with 3 more, flowing in with your breath. Everybody coming to land at whatever period of time they are, which is just you and me, since you're in your room or your home or wherever, right? Landing up in a flat tabletop back here. Let's turn the right toes under and stretch the right leg out behind us. And then just rock the weight forward and back. Just rock the weight forward and back. And then pop the leg on up behind you and point and flex and point and flex, and then rotate the ankle one way or the other.
And then on the exhale, hug the leg under, bring it forward to the forehead, round the shoulders. And inhale it back and keep the foot strongly flexed. Exhale, hug it under, bring it forward. Inhale it out. 2 more, flowing with your breath. And lowering the foot down. Let's go on the left side now. Sending the left leg behind you, toes turned under. And rocking backwards and forwards. Just to shift the weight, feel the back of the leg starting to open up here. Back of the knees, Achilles, the calf, back of the thigh. And then pop the leg on up. And point and flex. And point and flex. And rotate the ankle round both ways. And on the exhale, hug it underneath. Bringing it forward, and on the inhale, sending it out. And offer 3 more. And then just lower the legs. And then open the knees wide. Let the toes come to touch. And reach back for a Balasana, child's pose. Find the place for your body to be in a posture, in a position where this feels super comfy. Child's pose is always a great place to go to when you're feeling maybe overwhelmed, anxious, aggravated, annoyed, angry. And also it's a great pose to do along with a few other poses if you struggle with insomnia. Great to do before you go to bed. Child's pose, Balasana. Take a couple of deep breaths through the chest. Think of them as chest breaths. And you can feel, if you're mindful, that it's like flexing your wings on the back body, right? The shoulder blades. Every inhale, we're kind of lifting and widening the shoulder blades. And on the exhale, everything just softens down towards the earth. And you can imagine it's like a mother bird teaching her baby birds how they're going to fly. I'm sure it begins, I don't know this, but I'm sure it begins with some sort of even subconscious kind of lesson to teach a little bird how to fly. And just feel the booty and the hips reaching back towards the heels, forehead resting. If you're feeling any tension in your neck, just roll the forehead side to side on the earth until you feel completely at rest here. Not for too long. Come on up. Turn the toes under, and we're going to push up the down dog. And here we're going to pedal the legs and feet like a bicycle. Again, just waking things up on the toes, down to the heels, one at a time. Pushing deeply away with the hands, flat back, nice deep breathe. And on the exhale, we're going to come forward into a plank position. And keep the hips up, guys, because if we drop the hips, you can see that I'm putting some load into the lower discs in my back, right? Which we don't ever want to do. So we want to lift the belly up and lift the hips up for a flat tabletop back. And then lift the belly up and push it back for down dog. Okay? So we go forward into plank. On the exhale, and on the inhale, we lift up through the belly and take it back for down dog.
And exhale forward for plank. 2 more. And inhale, take it back for down dog. Last one, and now hold it here. And always feel free to go down on the knees if that feels more appropriate for you. Okay. And then we're going to soften the chin and chest down, leaving the pelvis off the earth, hugging the elbows in, hands by your chest. Then we're going to lower the pelvis down onto the earth. On an inhale, we're going to rise up, just lifting the chest up a little bit. And exhale, lower, forehead to earth. Next one, coming up a little higher. If you're feeling any tension in the lower back, try widening the legs out behind you. Or, if that doesn't work, just keep these lifting and lowering movements very small. And the last one, we're going to come all the way up, keeping the knees on the earth for now, opening wide, and then perhaps lifting the knees up, resting on the top of the feet. Right? And then lower the knees, turn the toes under, pulling it back for a version of Balasana. And then pressing forward, and again coming into down dog. And then walking the feet into the hands, coming to the front of the mat. The straight legs if that's possible. Inhale, tabletop, flat back. Hands on shins or beside the feet. And low on the exhale. If you need to put a little bend in the knees because maybe the hamstrings are super tight, right? That's fine. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, bend the legs. Take the right leg back and lower the right knee to the earth. Resting on the top of the right foot. Drawing the arms up, soft shoulders, and lunge forward. Have a look down at your left leg. Make sure that that left knee is over the left ankle, more so than over the left toes, because that puts some pressure on the kneecap. We will keep our knees safe. So it's a nice big stretch up the front body. Good, and drop the right hand down. Let's take a little twist, open to the left here. The belly shifting over to the left, the chest is shifting over to the left, and that left shoulder is laying back, gazing up at the left hand. Good. Then drop both hands down inside that left foot and walk the foot out to the side. And again, after that same lunge, flattening out the upper back. So we're not rounding here. Reaching the heart forward, flattening out the back. Keeping the right hand exactly where it is. Let's open again for this little wider twist now. And breathe. Feel the expansion through the torso here. And then walk the foot back into the center, hands down. Back toes turn under, lift the belly. Take it back down, dog. And again, the straight legs, if that's available to you, walk the feet into the hands. Inhale, tabletop, flat back. Gazing forward. Exhale, lower. And roll it up. And drop the hands down. Samasthiti. Find your center of gravity here. Find your self-balance. Let's go for the other side. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, float it down. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, bend the legs and take it back, lowering the left knee down to the ground. Reach the whole upper body up and lunge. Breathe. Good. Drop the left hand down now and open for the twist. Walk the right foot out to the side. And again, lunge forward.
Yeah, I'll keep it down. Okay. All right.
And again, open now for the bigger, wider twist. And walk the foot back into the center, hands on each side, back toes turn under, take it back to down dog. And walk into your hands. One more tabletop. Exhale, fold and roll it up. All the way up. Dropping the hands down into Samasthiti. Closing the eyes, finding that sense of gravity. Really standing in the center of your body here. You can rock forward and back a little bit until you can feel that you have found that place where it's just a sense of harmony and balance in the body, telling you that you are centered and grounded and somewhat balanced. Okay, let's do some warrior 1, 2, and 3, beginning at the front of the mat. Please modify as you need, okay? If you have any blocks around, might be able to utilize them somewhere during this practice, okay? And with breath leading the way, let's begin. Taking it on up, and exhaling it down. Tabletop. Right leg back, placing the right foot down, warrior 1. 2 breaths. Opening to warrior 2. 2 breaths. Switching the weight forward, looking for warrior 3. Releasing the hands down beside you and folding into that left leg. Stretching that right leg up into the sky. Bending both legs, letting the feet come to land side by side. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, fold. And roll it up. Take a right side bend, hands clasped above the head. Exhale over to the right. Inhale, reach for the sky. Center, exhale, left. Inhale, take it up. And drop the hands down. Let's go on the left side. Inhale, reach it up. And float it down. Tabletop. And left foot places for warrior 1 on the other side. So really soften the shoulders here. Soften the heart and the chest. You can also gaze up and really lift the heart up to the sky, create a back bend. But do this with modification, with a sense of kindness to the body. And open for 2. And again, notice where you're holding tension here. Can you find some comfort and ease here? Gazing over the right hand. And then shifting the weight forward onto the right leg. Taking your arms to wherever it feels good for the arms to go. And raising the right leg up behind you. Keeping that left leg, and keeping that very flexed. Pushing the heel to the back of the room. And then bending both legs. Letting the feet come to land. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, fold it. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, bend the legs. Let's take the right leg back. Open up again to warrior 2. And on the exhale, let's create a nice big side bend. Right arm comes all the way up and over. Reach into the front of the room. Left leg bends. You can use a block to place your hand on, place it inside the foot. You can place your hand on your thigh, or you can place your hand on the earth. Find what works for you. Inhale, lifting it up, and exhale, side bend the other way. One more of those. And windmill the arms down each side of the front foot. And take it back for down dog. Let's go for a Chaturanga Dandasana. Modify this as works for you. Through the plank, through the lowering, into up dog, or just go into Balasana from here, or a modified Balasana. And everyone leaning up, in, down dog. Walk into the hands. Tabletop, and fold it. And roll it up. This time, straight away, going into the other side. Exhale, fold it down. Tabletop, and take the left leg back. Coming up for that warrior two position. Exhale. Big stretch to the front of the mat. Make sure that left, right knee is not falling in, right? Putting pressure on the knee. Taking it up on the inhale and exhaling it to the back of them. And one more each way. And windmilling it down. And take it back for down dog. Walking into the hands. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, fold. And rolling it up. Hands come down. Okay, we're going to do Trikonasana. Okay? And again, remember your blocks or your stack of books. Triangle, okay? Inhale, take it up. And exhale, float it down. Tabletop. Take the right leg back. Lower the right foot. Like a warrior two with straight legs. And on the exhale, reach the torso all the way to the front of the mat. And then begin to lower the hand either onto a block or down onto the earth or onto your shin. Drawing the right arm up, creating a triangle. And sense and feel your body in this particular posture. There's lots of hip action going on here. You might need to put a softness in that left knee so you're not hyperextending the knee. Good. Drawing back on up. Turn the feet, the back foot a little bit so the toes begin to find the front of the mat. Keep the arms out in a nice big wide T here. And then begin to rotate the torso over to the left side. Now we're going to take the right arm down. And this will allow us to do Pavrita Trikonasana or revolved triangle. And then windmill the arms down each side of the front foot, removing your block if you had one, and take it back. Put down dog. And let's bring the right foot forward and through. And come on up to it, standing warrior two. Reaching the torso to the front of the mat. And finding your way down to the earth or to the block. Big twisting through the torso, opening that left shoulder, touching the sky with the left hand. Breathe. great for the spine. You can feel it wanting to open. You might even hear a couple of little coughs. It's okay. Inhale, bring it on up. And then place both feet facing forward. And I like to widen my feet a little bit here so that I'm not on a tightrope, right? Directly one in front of the other. Give myself a little space so my feet are basically underneath my hips. As I rotate around to the other side, so the whole body, torso is twisting out to the right. I'm pulling that right hip back. And then I can go down and find my revolve triangle. Pavrita Trikonasana. And windmill the arms down each side of the front foot. And take it back for down dog. Let's inhale for a plank and do our own version of a Chaturanga Dandasana. However that feels and looks and seems like it's going to work for you in this moment. And let's all end up in Balasana, child's pose. And widen those knees as much as feels comfy for you. Letting the big toes come to touch again. If that feels comfy, if that's too much, then let the feet separate. Find comfort and ease here. If the hands are all the way forward and there's a tightness in your neck, draw the hands back towards the head. Relax. 3 breaths. Focus just on breath and sensation. Try to give the thinking mind a rest. Just feel and be grounded and present and embodied. Good. And then come forward, turn the toes under, take it back for down dog. And then walk the hands, this time back to the feet. Now we're going to cross the right foot over the left foot. Come to the front of the mat. I might look like I'm a million miles away. Cross the right foot over the left foot here. Right? And then once you feel stable, begin to fold the upper body into the front leg. So you'll feel a lot of sensation coming up the glute of the left leg here. And swap the feet. Take left over right. Ground yourself, center, find your balance first. And then fold in. Woo! It's a lot of action. And separate the feet. And then bring the inside of the big toes together. And we're going to sit back down in what we call Utkatasana, chair. And we can either leave our hands here in front of the heart, or we can raise them up and soften the shoulders. Now we want to put all the weight in the back. So shift your weight back so that you can lift your toes. And throughout this posture of Utkatasana, or chair, we should be able to be there with our toes lifted. And the back is tall and noble and straight. Good. And then on the next exhale, we're going to offer a twist. So we're going to twist the upper torso over to the right, placing that left elbow into the outside of the right knee. And then pushing into that knee somewhat, creating some torque. so that we can twist to the right and bring the hands back in front of the heart, gazing up to the right. And then coming back through center and going to the left. Pulling that navel back to the spine to give you space to facilitate that twist. And certainly you can drop one arm down too, raise the other one up into the sky. Plenty of choice. And then sit back down, 2 breaths. This is challenging. It's challenging for the quads, right? Good. And then fold forward. And roll up. Nice and slow, stacking the vertebra. Good. And finding a quiet spot here. A balanced, harmonious, peaceful spot here. Okay. Let's do tree. Okay? Vrikshasana. So there are many choices with tree. Let's just think for a moment about what a tree needs to do to thrive. There's 2 things, ostensibly. There's many more, I'm sure, but the fundamentals are a tree needs to root, right? And develop a strong root network. And a tree also needs to reach for the sunlight. So if we're going to practice tree pose, we're going to want to have that in mind. Not that we're going to be thinking about it throughout the posture, which is like 5 or 6 breaths on each side, but thinking about it now and inviting the body to embody what it might be to be a tree. So we can have, let's say the standing leg is the left leg. That's the trunk of our tree. We can place the right foot on the left foot, or inside the left calf, or inside the left thigh, or even inside the left hip. And we'll start with the hands here. And there's a couple of things that are helpful if this is new to you. One of them is have the chair or a wall or a balustrade or a table beside you so that you can look for some support if you feel you need it. Number 2, gazing at something 6 to 8 feet in front of you down on the earth, something that's not moving, that you can hold that drishti, that gaze. Thirdly, widening the foot that's standing, of your standing leg. We sometimes want to reach and grab and claw at the earth or our yoga mat or our towel or whatever we're on, and that doesn't help. The wider, it's like displacement of weight. The wider you can stretch out that left foot, the better, and your toes. And then we want to push this right leg into the standing leg or the tree trunk, and simultaneously push the standing leg into the right foot, working everything energetically to the midline of the body. And just breathe and be the tree that you are here. And you can play with the arms, if that feels good. Different positions, branches of your tree. Coming back after 5 or 6 breaths, and then just trying something for fun. Begin to lower the gaze, drawing it back towards the feet until you recognize, I can't actually see anything anymore. And I'm still standing in tree. And gently release and shake it out. So it's really interesting what happens in tree. To me, tree is the most wonderful yoga pose of all. To me, it's a whole yoga class all in one pose because it asks so many different things of us. And it's interesting to see what happens when you try to close the eyes, right? You know, yoga is a mind-body practice, right? And so that thing when you close your eyes and you immediately start to feel like you're going to fall out, notice what that is. If you've been standing on one leg for 5 breaths, and then you give your mind a directive, close the eyes, suddenly you fall. Where does that come from? It comes from the mind playing tricks with you. Because the body is still standing, right? For 5 or 6 breaths. So the body has recognized it can do that. It's muscle memory, yeah? But the moment you bring in another challenge, the egoic mind is like, oh, I can't possibly do that. And it goes on a whole story about closing the eyes and balance and can I and am I good enough. You know the story, right? Let's try the other side. Keep it light though, whatever's going on, keep it light. This is supposed to be fun too, okay? But it's great to challenge ourselves, and balance as we age becomes more and more critical for us to be safe in the world and to have a sense of balance, an appropriate sense of balance. And one side is often so very different than the other. Just apply all the same principles. And then just be in your body with whatever's going on. Just one more breath here. And gently release and shake it out. All right, let's get down on the mat, sitting down on the ground. Taking a seat and sending the legs out in front of you. And actually coming to lay down because we've got time for one more posture and then a shavasana. So we want to lay down on our mats, draw the legs into the chest. Okay, and then we want to take the legs up. Now we can do this on our mat, or we can be doing this right up against our wall or our window. We've got French doors or a wall. And we want to get the booty right up against the fascia of the wall. So we want to have the sense that it's touching the bottom of the wall, where the wall meets the earth. And the legs are just going up the wall. Arms are nice and wide in a big wide T. And this is an inversion, right? But it's a restorative inversion. It's a modification of many inversions. And it is one of the best things that any of us can do for our bodies. I like to do this in the evening. And I love it so much because you can tell, you can feel the lightness that is coming to the legs and the feet. Right? Because you've taken gravity out of the equation. There isn't this pull always coming down into the feet when you've got the legs up like this. Blood is circulating the other way, and it is now pooling in the pelvis as opposed to pooling in the feet, which if you're standing up, that's where the blood pools. And then there's this big energy to pull it all the way up your legs and up your torso, and then go around again. So in this way, we feel very grounded through the pelvis. And the root chakra, which is the chakra system, is the energy system within the body, within the Ayurvedic and the yoga tradition. The root chakra, which is the pelvic floor area, that is, interestingly, that is the home for a sense of safety, sense of well-being, a sense of protection. And somehow when you've taken the weight off of your feet and your legs and your hips, and you're resting, that feeling of groundedness and safety and stillness in the pelvis just feels really good. Just a couple more breaths here. Closed eyes. Just breathing, sensing, and feeling. And then draw the legs back into the chest. And if your legs were up the wall, just slide away from the wall onto one side until you can get yourself in a position that you can come up away from the wall. Or you could stay where you are, drawing the legs into the body. We're going to go for a final twist. And just keeping the legs together. Drop the legs over to one side of the body. The idea here is to find comfort and ease, really to find it, okay? So maybe if the top leg cannot lay down on the lower leg, grab a block, or a pillow, or a bolster, so that you can create the ease with which the body can just enjoy this very beneficial pose. It's fabulous for the digestive system, guys. It's really, really good. Because you're like squeezing and then releasing the organs within. It's great for the spine. It's great for the hips. That's part of the restorative poses, which means that it's also great for your nervous system. We're kind of down-regulating from the sympathetic nervous system, which I hope you won't do during this practice, into the parasympathetic nervous system, aka rest and digest. So there's a few of the yoga postures that definitely help to down-regulate the nervous system. So for those of us who are anxious by nature or by lifestyle, by circumstances, and so for a lot of us this year, we're spending an awful amount of time in our sympathetic nervous system. That's the fight, flight, or freeze, right? And we know it. We're living with a lot of tension, worry, anxiety. And yoga offers beautiful tools that not only help us down-regulate and find our way into our parasympathetic nervous system, but at the same time, it's also great for the body, for the physical body. And it's great for the mind. We learn how we actually control our mind. We are the awareness and the consciousness from which all our thinking unfolds, right? So we get to choose our thoughts. So it's a beautiful practice. Inhale, engage through the core, and lift the legs. Back up through center, and you'll feel how good that feels. And then exhale them down to the other side. For a twist going the other way. Now, if you'd like to try and see how much you can bring your shoulder blades to the earth as you lay here in the twist, that's great. You could also, again, bring the earth up to meet you. So instead of hanging out there and having the muscles try so hard to get you into a certain place, just help yourself get there. And for me right now, a little pillow, a little cushion under that right shoulder blade will be super helpful. So see, now there's no tension in my right shoulder blade at all, or tension in my arm, because I've brought the earth out to exactly where I am in this moment. And the body is saying, oh, thank you, Jane. Thank you. Thanks for taking care of me. And that's what I teach, and that's what I practice, and that to me is the beauty and the science and the wisdom of yoga. Let's do it with loving awareness, loving kindness, so that we want to do more, and so that the body can welcome this kind of well-being for itself. 2 more breaths. Closing the eyes, just feeling everything. And then drawing the legs up and pausing there for a second. And then letting the whole body lay along the length of your mat. Now, if you like to have a little cushion, a little neck pillow could be nice, right under the neck. Or if you want to have a little light, narrow little cushion or padding or something for your head, the back of your head. That feels good. Feel free if you have a little sock or a small hand towel that you could even cover your eyes so you could darken the space. And then widen the legs wide enough and the arms wide enough so that you can feel air moving freely up and down the whole body. And then close the eyes. And just be here. And as the mind wanders, as it will do, it's the nature of mind, just bring your attention back to sensation, whatever you're feeling in your body, and the riding of the breath through the body. And lay here for as long as you wish. This is just as important as anything else we do in our yoga practice. It is Shavasana. It's a moment where we take a little gratitude for ourselves, for what we've just done, for the practice, moving the body, twisting it, turning it, lengthening it. All with a spacious awareness, which has given us a moment to quiet down. May you be well. May you be safe, protected. May you know the root of happiness. May you find the joy that resides within you, unconditional joy. May you be free from suffering. May you know the root of suffering. May you remember who you really are. Consciousness, awareness, from which your life unfolds. May you find great flexibility, adaptability. May you always be present, in the here, in the now, in your body, grounded, balanced, with comfort and ease. All blessings.